Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Producer Place. Today I'm going to show you how to make presets in Studio One. Two different types. One preset is the macro kind of knob controller, which is a lot of fun. The other is just like your basic preset. This stuff's really easy. This will be a very quick tutorial. Before we get into it, if you find this helpful, hit like, hit subscribe. My name is Nick Rollo. I'm a producer and mixing engineer from Australia. Let's get into it. So I've got Studio One open and I'll just pull up a track. Just an audio track. Now, the first kind of preset I'm going to make is just like your basic, just normal preset. Let's chuck on Pro EQ and maybe I want a low filter to 155 Hertz and then say I want a compressor doing that and then a reverb plugin doing that. So that's a pretty simple chain. All you need to do is just click this little triangle, go Store Effects Chain, and then you can write all the things. You can put it into its own subfolder. So if you want it to be like, the producer place, which is one of the ones that I've got, then it can all go under there. So then when you want to actually pull up an effect, you just go to the producer place and then you have it all there. So that is pretty easy to do. Now the next thing, which I suspect you might be more interested in, and I got a few comments about this, is getting a kind of more intuitive preset. You click this little button at the bottom, which pulls you up into this space that I can't remember the name of. If you find your way over to the macro control in the top left, you get this look. Now, the way to actually map stuff is, well, I think there's a few ways actually. I think you can do it inside of here by, you can connect something to a macro control. So if you click this and you came over here, all of a sudden this is the low frequency. So I put it up to 6.9, there it is. I don't tend to work like that myself. The way that I do it is I click this little spanner and then I enter the kind of scary looking thing. And basically you've got your 8 knobs, you've got your 8 buttons, and then you've got a XY pad and an XY pad. And then if I wanted to say put a low cut, then I could just do this and just drag it there and it would be done that way. And for the most part, pretty intuitive. Maybe you just want the threshold on knob 2, so as that goes down, the compressor threshold goes down. What I do tend to do with a lot of the presets that I make is I will often have 2 or 3 different variables mapped to one. So for the compressor, if I move this threshold either way, and you can change which way it moves, the way that I do it is I like to flip it. So if you double click the little line, you can go invert, and then that means that as you pull this up, the compression gets more intense. Now the issue with this is obviously with compression, if you do that, it's going to get quieter. So unless it has auto gain enabled, what I tend to do is I'll have the opposite happening with the gain knob or gain channel, and then you kind of go in and you can like change the relationship so that it, as best as possible, it kind of does it evenly as you compress it. So ideally every decibel of compression is a decibel of gain. This can be kind of difficult sometimes. As I said, like this compressor I think has auto gain on it, so that kind of makes it a bit easier. So that kind of stuff gets a little bit fiddly, but it's kind of fun. I really enjoy it. Obviously you have 8 knobs, so you can do quite a bit of stuff with it. You can have fairly intuitive kind of mix thingies and really technical terminology here. The pads at the bottom are quite fun. So if you click this expansion, it means that you can have like kind of multiple variable, so say like a delay, you could have the feedback going up and the delay time going out, or a filter with like distortion. You can get quite creative with all this stuff. And a feature that I like is if you find these little triangles, you can change the color of it. You can do that for the buttons as well. Somehow. Oh yeah, you need to. Before I end it, what I will show you is one of my presets, just to kind of break it down. And if you would like these presets, they're all linked below. They're completely free. You just put in your email. You'll be signing up to my email newsletter called The Producer Place, which is pretty banging. It's like a small little weekly newsletter that I think is quite helpful. Just gives you tips and tricks. And yeah, there's some other stuff there. So this is my preset called the Vibe preset, I believe. Is that correct? The Vibe chain. So you open it up and it looks like this, and there's quite a lot of stuff. Compression, chorus, delay, reverb, distortion, phaser, filter, and master gain. Not master gain, but gain on the channel. And then you can bypass everything or activate everything. And then with the delay, it also has the XY pad to the left is the delay pad. So this is the time, how quick or long the delay is, and then the feedback amount. So you can kind of play around with where it sits on that spectrum. And then the pad on the right is the reverb pad. So that has the time on the right and then the dampness on the vertical, not the right. The horizontal is the length and the vertical is the dampness. So how filtered it gets. And obviously you have to actually activate it before this will work or the delay will work. So it's pretty cool. And then, yeah, you can kind of see with the compression, I've got the reduction here and then I've got the gain here to kind of compensate for the compression, or the chorus is just the depth. And yeah, you get the idea. And if you download the presets, you can also look behind the scenes by just clicking that so you can get an idea of what I'm doing. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. As I said, free stuff below. I've got a free vocal mixing cheat sheet and a vocal mixing course, which is not free, but it's pretty cheap. You can go check those out. And if you did find this helpful, hit like and hit subscribe, and I'll catch you next video. Goodbye.